Hello, this is Neil from MasterPaintingNow.com. So I got something new and kind of exciting for you. You can become a VIP member and get exclusive tutorials that only VIP members are going to get to watch. And you do that by joining the newsletter. It's really simple. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a sample right now in this video. So here's your one chance to get a exclusive video without actually having to sign up for a membership. But this will be the only one. To get more of these exclusive videos that will not be on my YouTube channel, will only be given to VIP members, all you have to do is sign up. It's free. So you just simply go to my website, and the link is in the description, and you click here, exclusive lessons. Bam. That takes you to this here. All you do is you take your email, put it in here, and subscribe. That's it. I guard your email with my life, so you don't have to worry about that. And in fact, MailChimp, who I use for my email list, is so awesome that they don't even let me spam you guys. It's like they just don't let me. I had to start my list all over again because a couple of people complained because I was using people that had purchased products for. Anyway, let's get started and let's start this tutorial. I'm going to show you some cool stuff with drawing faces that you might not know. Right, so let's get started. So one of the cool things, and this is something you can discover when working with clay. So if you take your clay, right, and let's say, I should just actually show you with clay, but let's say you have your clay here, and you make like kind of a circle out of it, and you kind of extend it down, you smash it, you add some parts onto it, you start to get a face here, and then this is the part where you know your eyes are going to be. And so you take your thumbs, you kind of impress in here, and push the eyes back, right? We also want to push the nose back a little bit too. That is the indent and the head indents a little bit further back than the nose. So when you view it from the side view, you notice your head becomes a little bit longer. In fact, it's almost as long as it is tall. It's only like maybe an inch longer than it is wide this way. So you take your face and you have your forehead coming down. You have that little indent right here, right? And then it comes down to the nose, and the nose comes out, and so forth. What's important is back here where you have your eye, is this whole part here, this all indents further than this here. So this is all further back, this whole part in the cheek and everything. So if you view it from a 3/4 view, you have this eye area here. And what's important is that this indents like this. Let's go ahead and kind of make the nose a little different. Where this eye indents here, actually start the eye back a little bit further. Right, you have the socket where the eye indents. And all this is indented, and also the face here as well. So you have the part that comes out here. This comes down to the end of the chin. And you might have actually caught some of this on my tutorial for my heads course, rather. When you have this part of the face here, this whole part, this indents, this whole part here that I'm shading right now, all this indents back further, so you want to push it back, the clay, push all this clay back further if you're using clay, right? Push this indent, so all this plane right here, this is further back than this is here, and this is further back than this is here. So you have 3 different depths of the clay, and so this whole part here is further back than this part here, and it kind of has an angle to it, so it kind of fades angle. So this hole right here has this kind of angle to it. And then you have this part here, and this all kind of angles away as well. And the angle of that, view it more from the front view here, it kind of angles like, hopefully this will show kind of what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to show this without clay, but you can kind of see how it kind of angles down like that. So when you push with clay, you're going to have this angle here that pushes back farther than this here. That comes down and makes up the sort of face. This part of the jaw here, though, this comes at a slightly different angle, right? And so you want to push this at an angle. So you're going to push all this jaw back here, and it kind of pushes at, it's not like totally straight back, and it's not totally straight level with this, so it kind of just goes back at a slight angle. The important part there I really wanted to illustrate though was how that eye comes back. In fact, it's so easy not to do that. So when you're sculpting the clay from the front, you kind of don't pay attention to the side view. Make sure you turn it to the side view and really push this clay back here so you get that plane. So if you were to imagine then, you have this part of the clay. This is sticking out the furthest. This part goes back further than that part there. And then finally you have this last part, and this part goes back the furthest. This part you push back the furthest. And all this creates this indent for your eye socket. And all comes back so you have that side plane of the nose there. You have the whole part of the cheek. And finally you have lips that come out, and chin and so forth. It's important that you get that side view there. You get this indent here, so it indents back far. And it's such an important thing, that's why I'm making sure I go over it. And you really want to try this with clay, because something will click in your mind. You'll go, oh, like you wonder, how come my face don't look right from the side view? Push that whole eyeball part back, and then you'll start to see. And then push this whole cheek part back here, so it's going back as well. And then take that jaw plane where it curves over and kind of like push this, or you can cut it too, like take a wire, because you know how they sell the wires with the stick handle, so it's like a wire like this. Then you have these stick handles on each side that you can hold on to. And so you can pull the wire tight, and you can press that through clay. So you have a piece of clay down here, and you can press this down through the clay and cut it, and slice through it. So it makes it to where you can slice through that part of the face there, and you can slice at an angle, so you have that angle of the face. Right, so that's that. Knowing that, now let's go ahead and get into some character. So you can do a standard face, and it's just you're kind of following the rules, and that's how you start. And so if you do my perfect square method, once you get used to the guide is just to train your mind the relation of all the object of the face together. Once you have that trained, you can just kind of use whatever method you want. The circle method works quite good, and so you have your eyeball mark somewhere in here, the nose marks in here, then this length, the halfway circle, and down. That's about how far down it's going to be. If it's a 3/4 view, it's going to be slightly wider than the front view, because you're seeing some of the side view of the head too. And so you can kind of imagine the side view of the head. And so you kind of want to imagine the same distance almost on each side here when you're doing the 3/4 view. It depends on how far of a 3/4 view it is. And you have this part here that kind of indents in, that you want to kind of map that over here as well. You want to decide how far it should go. So first thing I'm going to do is kind of map my eyeballs and nose in here. I know my nose has to come down to about here. You're kind of seeing more of a side view of the nose than you are anything else. And so you're kind of drawing a side view of the nose there is what you're pretty much doing. And you're only going to be able to see part of the eye. You might be able to see it all the way. It just depends on how extreme the 3/4 view is. You don't want to make this part of the eye too big. The eye will look bigger when you add the rest of it, the whole eye socket. When you add all of this here to the eye, then that's when it starts looking bigger. So it gives the illusion that the eyes are bigger than they are, but the actual eyeball part there is quite small. So this is if you're kind of, you're kind of just drawing a generic face, and it's going to look, something like this. The ear is going to be. Head is going to kind of match back there somewhere, and you have the neck. Right, the mouth be somewhere in there. If you take that though to another level, and I wouldn't actually have it that far back, then you can have the hairline. That's like a generic face. You can add, different noses and eyes to it, but it's not going to change that much. Where you really get into where you really add different character is when you start exaggerating, when you start developing a style. When you start developing a style, you usually start going toward more of a cartoony, which typically is what style does. So when you start developing style, you start minimalizing, you start exaggerating, and you start just flat out deforming. You can a deformation of the nose, might be some like one of the witches that you see in Disney or something. Maybe it's one of the bigger hook noses like this. This is just a flat deformation. That's not an exaggeration. No one has a nose like that. This is not exaggerating anything. This is straight deforming the nose, and you get something different here. So you decide what features you want to exaggerate, what features you want to minimalize, what features you want to distort, and that's how you begin to develop style. It really comes down to that formula there. So when you're doing this then, to come up with a new character, you could draw in a realistic way. You can exaggerate everything and draw in a realistic way, and you get something more like a caricature. Well, caricatures can also be done in cartoon style. That is minimizing the approach, making it more. Cartoon is really a lot of minimizing, and minimalizing meaning that you take eyebrows and they just become lines, simple lines, instead of becoming a complex thing where you have individual hairs and stuff. But you can take that same kind of character distortion and exaggeration of the face, so you have like, bigger head part, and you want to like really exaggerate the nose of your character, and this starts to develop a style here, and you're like, okay, cool, so I kind of like this here, and it comes down, you're going to have the face coming down here somewhere, and this is where maybe it's a thinner face and you decide maybe big ears. But it's in this exaggerating stuff how you get your style. Let's see, he has this kind of longer ear here, and then you can still draw this shape realistically if you wanted to. It has a smaller mouth like this. And you can even make the jaw come out further down here, so it has this kind of angle coming down. Maybe it's a thin neck. You can take this kind of drawing, you can either make it a cartoon, something very simple, using a minimalist approach to how you draw and color it, or you can, paint it in a very realistic style, but it has these, exaggerated features. And that's going to, make all the difference. So how you decide to render it out. Have them looking off this way. What you do to this eye here, you also want to do this eye over here. Meaning that if this eye is touching the very edge here, this eye here also wants to be touching the very edge. Now remember, this eye comes out this way a little bit more, and so it's touching the edge, but the nose is blocking our view of it. So you just want to make sure that you keep that in mind and draw through the character. Give him some bags under his eyes here. This is a very quick drawing approach. Where at this stage you're not really trying to get nice lines and stuff like that. Although you still want to, have some smoothness to your flow. You don't want it to be all scratch or anything. So you're still trying to get, a nice flow to your lines. And you can start to see how you can develop a character style here. And then let's add some highlight into the eye here. Again, this is drawing very quickly. And so I can start to add more of a realistic approach to how I shade this guy. And if I shade him with that more realistic approach, then I know that that can start to be the foundation for, hey, I'm going to turn this guy into a realistic rendering when I decide to finalize this. At this stage, I'm just doing quick sketching. And I can decide, do I actually want to give him lips? And remember, lips usually they're not like this. They kind of you have this top part, and they come down like this. So you want to keep that in mind, how they come down. That side, this is not too extreme of a 3/4 view, so I might be able to see even a little bit of that part of the lip over there. And I can decide if I want to have this kind of look. And notice how just changing the lips changes the whole character, changes the whole style of how I want my character to look here. I can decide, how much realism I want here in the ear. I can simplify it more like that so it's not too realistic inside. Or you can get down right and render it out to be very realistic. That's all up to you. Have his Adam's apple there. Just kind of so as you can see, you can start to get something kind of cool. Let's go back to this. I like the simple mouth better, I think. And I'm thinking I want to give him give him a bottom lip, but not really a top lip. But give him these kind of sides here. Maybe even give him a little bit of that. I could even kind of give him his little thing there. Looks kind of cool. It looks kind of sly. It looks, I don't know, it's even give him a couple little wrinkles in here. I don't know, maybe not. Well, I could do that. Remember, these wrinkles kind of fall along the cheek here. Dang it. Just simple cross-hatching type sketch here. Right, so there you have it. You have an interesting character, and if I were to render that out in a realistic painting, it would be like kind of this like surrealism, and that's how you develop style. So style is how you render the final thing, whether you render it more of a cartoony style, whether you render it in a kind of pencil sketch like this, let's say, or you render it in a very realistic painterly style. That also will change it. Same this head here. If I, ink this like a comic character, that's a different style, with the slash lines and stuff when you're inking. Or if I color it with like a more of a simple like anime type cartoon with the cell shading, so you have the base color, then you have a darker color for the shadow, and that would be filled in a solid color, and then usually instead of black outline, it'll have the skin color outline for the face, and basically the same color as whatever the thing is you're drawing. So skin tone, all the lines within the skin tone and the outline skin tone will be a darker color of the skin tone, like a brown. And if the hair is red, then there'll be dark red for the outline of the hair, and so forth. Or I can, render it out with a more realistic painting approach, or a speed painting approach. Just depends. But you can see how you can get some really interesting character by just how you draw. And so that's really what it's all about. That's what style is about. Now I go into a lot more detail into style in my heads course, but the basic idea is here, and that is it all comes down to distortion, exaggeration, and simplification, or minimalism. And that comes in two ways. So you can either minimize the the lines. So how you draw the thing is you're drawing it much more simply. To draw an eye, let's say, you're just kind of doing this, and then you're having simple line work, and then you have the eyebrow, which is simplified, and it's all going to be colored in solid. There's no individual hairs or anything. Lashes are just reduced to something like that, and that would be like a simplification of the eye. Of course, it get a little more complicated than that, but you get the idea. And so that's one way of minimizing. The other way of minimizing is thinking of like reducing the actual thing, like the lips here is one way. Reducing the mouth to just like a little line like that. Reducing a mouth to like a happy face like this, and the teeth. That's another way of minimizing. Another way of minimizing is how you like render the thing. That you render it more cartoony instead of rendering it realistically. So for example, this is a minimized mouth in the line work, but I can paint it with a realistic fashion, or I can render it like a cartoon. So that would be like a double minimizing of the mouth. One minimizing with the line work here, that is how I drew the mouth without drawing it realistically, without doing the lip and everything like this, and you know, there's an upper lip and a bottom lip and everything like a realistic person would have, or a real person would have. Um, and then also painting it realistically. Or you can have a realistic approach, you know, to how you do it, how you draw the thing, that it has the parts of real lips would, but you shade it or color it like a cartoon. And that would be more like a comic book, right? So that's another way you develop style. So you take those different formulas. So minimalizing the object itself with how you draw the line work, so drawing a smiley face like this, for example, and that's the teeth, and then there's like a nice bright sparkly teeth here, and then you have the nose, let's say, which is something simple like this. So minimizing the line work, but coloring it realistically, rendering it realistically is one style. Drawing it, you know, minimizing the line work, and also coloring it, you know, minimizing the coloring to like a cartoon style is another style. And actually, there's many different ways of rendering it. You can render it to look more like a 3D rendering, like a 3D program. That would be one style, like let's say ants or Toy Story. So color it like that, but with the same look right here, or this here has the same look, but I can render it in many different ways, and that's all different styles. So the rendering is part of your style, and you can also, like I said, have a realistic approach to the mouth. And when you have a realistic approach to the mouth, how you draw it, the line and everything is realistic, but you color it with a cartoon style, comic style, or these other different styles, that all changes the style. Or you can, you know, render it with realistic coloring and everything, and render it out with a realistic approach. And when you render it realistically, then that's a different style. That'd be like realism, right? So there you have it. I think I covered a lot of cool stuff in this exclusive. So this is like a sample of the kind of exclusive videos you can expect to see if you sign up for the exclusive thing, the newsletter. Sorry, like the thing. So yeah, go ahead and go to the website, which is here again. The link's in the description too. So it's masterpaintingnow.com or ipaintgirls.com. Both of them will take you to the same website. And then you just click on exclusive lessons, and then enter email here. And believe me, I will not share email with anybody. It stays on my Chimp account. And I am sorry for all those people that I emailed that purchased from me before, and you might have forgot who I was and that you purchased from me. And I emailed you updating you about new products that came out. And I guess that bothered a few of you, and I do apologize for that. So that's why I'm having people sign up that want to get these updates. They want to get the exclusive tutorials that only VIP members will get. You'll also get access to the new courses that come out before anyone else. You'll know about them before anyone else. You'll be able to download them before anyone else. And also, you'll get a huge discount just for being on my subscribers list. So when the new course comes out, everyone that's on this VIP list will get a link to the course with a discount, and it'll be exclusive to you guys, to your VIP members. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do this. And so that's all I'm going to email you about. I'll email you about new courses coming out, and I'll email you with your exclusive free tutorials. Every once in a while, I might even have a written tutorial. And every great once in a while, I might promote a product that I like, that I personally found and like. Because for those who don't know it, I'm kind of a how-to junkie. I read a lot of how-to books on subjects I like, not just writing and drawing, other subjects as well. And I like learning, so I watch a lot of these videos, and I like to see how other people teach. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of people don't teach very well, and that's unfortunate. A lot of these courses I see, they don't teach very well. But you know, sometimes there's something to glean from them, and that in itself is worth the purchase price to me. But that tattoo course, you got to get it. If you go to the homepage here, if you want to learn tattooing, it might be a while before I come up with my tattoo course. I'm kind of irritated because this is the tattoo course I'm talking about. You can go here to check it out and read about it. It's 13 hours long. It's pretty awesome. I got irritated because I had my tattoo course almost finished, and my son got a virus on my computer, and I lost almost all the video, and so I have to start all over again. I have to like go and I have to record all these things again, recording tattoos, and it's hard work, and so it's like, oh dang it, you know. But I will eventually do it, I think, and eventually come out with a tattoo course. But for now, honestly, this is going to teach all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of pros teaching you great stuff, and even I learned something from it. So I've been doing it for quite a while. Definitely worth it. Check it out. Yeah, just click on that link and check it out. Right. Okay, so that's all you're going to get emailed from me by signing up to that subscription. You're not going to get any other kind of emails. Maybe you'll get the occasional email of me saying, "Hey, sorry, I know I was supposed to you've gotten used to having a tutorial, because I might get sick or something and I can't get you that exclusive tutorial, and so it might be a week late or something. But I might just let you know, hey, sorry, I'm sick, but I'll get you that exclusive tutorial soon. And I'm going to try to have an exclusive tutorial like once a week or so. So I want to make it pretty regular. All right, cool. I'm almost thinking about maybe I should just draw a little bit more in this video. You can go ahead and call it done if you want and turn it off. But I'm thinking maybe I should draw one more quick character here using this approach. So you take the basic principles I teach in the Master the Human Head, and I also teach cartooning, all that too. But you take those basic principles of the human head, and then you just start exaggerating certain features. So what if instead you decide to exaggerate the eyes? You get a really weird looking character by doing that, right? So it's kind of elongate the head this time instead of starting with the circle. We're starting with the oval, and this is still going to be the same approach though. That is, the eyes are still going to fit in this area here, the nose here, and then we're still going to extend this down here to the jaw. So we're going to have this really long face here, right? With a really big head. That's one thing we could do. It's one kind of style we can get. I might not end up going with that. Sometimes I'll just start kind of with the loose head shape, and then I'll go, okay, I need to draw the eyes and how are they going to look. So I'm going to kind of go, let's go with some big old eyeballs here. We can draw an interesting looking character. Maybe the eyeballs close together. So cartooning is, I'm going to end up coming out with a course on cartooning. It'll go into great detail about cartooning. Way more than my heads course did. It'll just be like all kinds of cool stuff. This is one concept that will be in it. It's how far apart the eyes are and how close the eyes are is going to make a difference to how your character looks. And this is how you can add all different kinds of variations to your character. I'm going to have this eye be a lot bigger. So almost like he's doing an expression. And I'm kind of like purposely not doing perfectly round things. I'm making this part of the style, how I render this. And I think I'm going to have this kind of eyebrow here, kind of stick out over there, stick out over here, something like that. And then come down with the face. And so in the Mastering Heads course, when I teach all the different parts here, like this is why this comes out here and so forth. But in this particular tutorial, I'm not going to talk about all that. I'm just going to show how you can take the basic principles once you have them down, and you can start transforming your characters and giving them a lot of personality. And you can start having cool, designing your own cool characters. Designing your own characters isn't as hard as it might seem. I kind of like, maybe he should have, I'm going to do a really light rendering inside of here to show the eyeball has form. You don't want to forget that everything has form. Everything is a three-dimensional thing, and that's why you're definitely going to want to get my course on form and dynamic lighting. I'm going to do a little tiny nose, and trying to think how I want. Actually, I like saying zoomed out because being able to see the whole thing is really important when you're sketching, I think. You can disagree, feel free to disagree. I think it's important to be able to see the whole thing you're drawing. I kind of want, since the light's coming from that side, I want these lines to be darker and thicker. And let's see. So, I start, dedicating lines as I go along in my sketching process, kind of getting more clean lines. And so now I'm thinking about how I want his face to look here. And I'm thinking maybe he's scared. And he's like, let's see, maybe that face come out more like this. I can even add a remember the teeth kind of wrap around and go back inside the head like that, and then you have the side teeth here and the inside teeth over there. You kind of want to imagine that when you're drawing the teeth. I can really push this really far if I wanted to, as far as how much I want to exaggerate that mouth coming down. And I can even have that cut off right there and have the lip kind of overlap the face here, and then knowing that it comes back down to the chin down here. And he has his ear here. I don't know why, but I think he just kind of looks like he should have this kind of ear. And I might come up with all different kinds of, renditions of this guy just by giving him different ears and stuff like that, and come up with different ideas. Notice his jaw is really close and his neck really thin. So remember these teeth, just like those teeth there, they wrap around. You have the inside of those teeth, the top of the back molars. So it's kind of like if you zoom in, you kind of have, the molars here, then you've seen the sides of them as well. So you've seen the top and the side of the object. You want to think about the three-dimensional forms of things you're drawing in that way. It comes around to the front teeth here, and then they come back, but you can't see them. And the tongue, maybe it's coming up right here. Maybe it has a pointy tongue. That's kind of interesting. That's the darker part back there in the mouth. So I kind of like this. It's pretty cool. And I never drew this character before. I don't even think I've ever drawn a character that's even that much like this guy. He's pretty different. And this is what it's all about. It's all about experimenting. And if you just do this every day and start out with big eyes and stuff and just kind of start following your instincts and just go, okay, I kind of want to give him a big chin or a small chin, whatever you decide to do, and then take that same character and redraw it again, either by erasing like the mouth and chin and give him a different mouth and chin, or tracing over and changing features, maybe make a bigger jaw out here and everything, maybe give him a fatter face and big face down here. Altering things like that, you can get all kinds of cool results. I think I'm going to give him a hairline. Not really sure what kind of hairstyle he should have, so I'll give him something generic for now. And then, I don't know, I'm just trying to think what kind of hairstyle fits this guy. So, hey, what kind of hairstyle do you think fits this guy? Let me know what you think should be on him. What about a mohawk? That'd be kind of interesting. So you start from the middle, do a mohawk, and kind of imagine it's going back around the head, and it's coming around where you can't see it, and it sticks out, so it comes back around the head like that where you can't see it anymore. I think that looks kind of cool, actually. Maybe just show a little bit of grayness in this. If I were to color it, to give it a little bit of grayness, show like he shaved the head, but you know how when you shave the head you can kind of still see. Right, so there you have it. If I were to zoom in, I can start making these lines a little better. It's hard when you're zoomed out in Photoshop to actually get decent line quality. Right, so there you have it. It's weird how it looks good there, and then you zoom in here and it looks horrible, and you zoom in there and it looks good again. So there's like stages of where it looks good and where it looks bad. Right, so there you go, two very different looking characters, but following the same principles of distorting, exaggeration, and minimalism. And use your variety of those different things and different features and stuff, and how close the eyes are, how close the eyes are, how big they are, how far apart they are, whether or not they're tall, whether or not they're narrow, whether or not they're short and narrow or they're wide and narrow, whether or not they're more squarish, whether or not they're more roundish, the shape of them. All that will change your character and how he looks, and it's going to start developing a style. And this right here is kind of interesting style. It'd be interesting to see a cartoon done like that and colored in a more realistic fashion. Maybe even drawn and then put into a 3D program, and then rendered very realistically. And that'd be kind of interesting 3D movie with this kind of style here. That's pretty cool. I like it. All right, thank you for watching, and go ahead and subscribe. And I look forward to giving you guys a bunch of cool content. That is a bunch of cool tutorials like this exclusively for you. Don't worry. If you don't sign up for the exclusive lessons to be a VIP member, I will still be putting tutorials on YouTube. It's just if you want to see what the exclusive videos are, you have to become a VIP member, and it's free. You have nothing to lose. It's as simple as putting in your email. You don't have to put your first name in. You just simply log in your email, and that's it, and you're done. And then, just remember who I am. What I'll do is in the letter, just make sure you add it to your, once you add it, make sure you add the email to your neil.fontaine@yahoo.com. Add that to your whitelist. Add it to your contacts list so that it doesn't go to your spam folder by accident. That way you think, hey, I signed up, and where are my dang free news? Where are my free things, my free courses, or not free courses, free tutorials or lessons, if you want to call them that. And also, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Also, the email will have something like Master Painting Now newsletter in the title, or Neil here. So just look for those kind of things in the titles. I'll try to make it clear that it's from me so you don't think it's from something else and accidentally delete it and miss out on your free tutorial exclusively just for you, made just for you. And that's just my way of saying thanks for supporting me, and I want to give you guys something back, something special for you diehard fans. So there you go. You guys rock. You girls rock. Keep on rocking. Oh, one more thing. I know this video is long. One more thing that I'm going to be coming out with, I think. You guys let me know what you think. I might up here or somewhere up here, I might come out with a form. And so I've been looking at a particular plugin for WordPress, and it looks like be really good. And anyway, it's a form for WordPress, so you guys could, I'll have a couple subjects like post your own artwork, things like that, critique. Like there'll be a critique form where you can ask other people for a critique and me for a critique, and I'll try the hardest I can to get to you guys and critique your guys' work, or let you guys know what you're doing right or wrong. And the other thing I want to do with the form, and someone gave me this idea and I thought it's a really good idea, and that is they emailed me and said, hey, I just kind of want to make sure I'm doing okay with your Master the Human Figure course, and here's my drawings I've done so far. Am I heading in the right direction? Am I doing anything wrong? And it's like, well, the head's too big or too small, or you drew this breast at the wrong angle, and just kind of give them a couple tips like that, and maybe a quick draw over to show them the difference. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And now he knows where to kind of head down that road better to complete the course. And so you can use the forum to do that, to post your artwork there and say, hey, am I heading in the right direction? Am I doing things right? And then, other people will help you, and I will also help you say, well, this is what you're doing wrong, or you're doing this right, and so forth. And also, it'll give a chance to show your progress. So if you make a thread and you post your progress in that same thread, and I make my post to it too, saying this is what you can do to improve it, and yeah, I think you're ready to move on to the next lesson now, and then you move on to the next lesson, and you keep posting your progress. People can see your progress and get motivated by that, going, wow, that's really cool. He's going through this course, the Master Human Figure course, and look at his progress. It's amazing. And maybe they'll want to make that same progress, and it'll just motivate people to become better artists, and we can all help each other as a community to become better artists. And I learn every time I teach something. I learn. It's like if I make a course, I learn something from it every single time. It doesn't fail. It's a never-ending process of learning, and I love learning. And hopefully you guys love learning too. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel too if you haven't done so already. For that way you can know when new videos come out and stuff.